Part 2 of TotalRL TV's Super League preview for this weekend. We've already looked at the games on Thursday and Friday. We're now going to delve into the weekend's games, and we're going to start in the capital, Martyn Sadler. London against Hull FC. It's a tricky one for Hull FC. They're in a real rotten rut of form, and if they lose this, you dread to think what the consequences could be for Lee Radford.
Well, I think the consequences for Lee Radford would be, that he'd be in severe danger of losing his job if Hull lose to London. Having said that, I don't think that will happen. I'm fairly confident that Hull will go down there and give a good account of themselves, because I think the team will know how desperate it is.
I think London are getting closer, aren't they, to a win? You wouldn't have to say that.
Oh no, they are, and every week now. I mean, to give credit to London, early in the season we were saying, God, they're hopeless, they're never going to win. Now, in the last few weeks, we're saying, well, this could be London's first win. At least we are talking about them possibly winning, and that's great. It's great to see, and I think I think the new coach, Joe Grimm, has done a terrific job since taking over from Tony Ray. He's instilled some belief into the side. But they're still short on real top quality players, and I think Hull have got too much firepower for London. London's defence is still a bit shaky, really, and Hull have got some real great attacking players. Obviously, Jamie Shaw at full back, Joe Westerman, at loose forward area, and so I just can't see Hull losing. But I mean, it will be a bit of an earthquake, won't it, if London win? It will be an earthquake with unforeseen consequences, as you suggest. Although, in a sense, the consequences are only too obvious, really. So let's hope for Lee Radford that it's a big game for Hull this weekend, and that Hull, because Hull ought to really be a top 8 side.
Into Sunday, and Castleford against Hull KR is the first of 2 games we're going to look at, although some people are calling it Castleford versus Hull KR. I've chosen to call it Mark Sneed versus the Albert Goldthorpe medal leader Travis Burns, arguably the 2 form halfbacks in the competition. Martin.
No doubt about it, and Travis Burns, what a great season he's having, and he's a player who I really admire enormously. I think he's got a great combination of aggression and skill and courage, and toughness, and those things just go a long way in our sport. And
he's rightly at the top of our Albert Goldthorpe.
Well, he's the Albert Goldthorpe medal leader at the moment, and it's interesting, isn't it, that we've had a previous winner of the Albert Goldthorpe medal from Hull Kingston Rovers, Michael Dobson, in 2009, and Travis is following in his footsteps, although a very different sort of a player. I think this could be, it's funny how the fixtures fall, because sometimes they give us a weekend of really great games, and I think this weekend is one of those weekends. I think Castleford and Hull KR, it's a game that I would love to be at, and I would advise anybody watching this to try and get out there, to be there at the Menderhose Jungle, because the Tigers are still going strong. They've been outstanding this year. I used to write year after year after year that Darryl Powell ought to be a Super League coach, and he's just shown us, hasn't he, this year, what a great coach he is. But I wouldn't like to really call the winner of this game, because Hull KR will be there with a lot of support. Burns leading the way, he's forming a great partnership now with Chris Keating. They've got forward power. Michael Wayman, I think he's been another great signing for Hull KR this year. But the Tigers, gosh, they're really firing on all fronts, I think, at the moment. And I think they may just be able to sneak a win against the Robins, but I wouldn't be at all surprised to see it go either way.
No, absolutely.
No firm prediction.
Very much sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
Well, the final game, it's arguably the biggest game of the season so far, Martin. Bradford against Wakefield. It's been dubbed as the biggest game since the infamous £1 million game between Cass and Wakefield. Who do you see coming out on top? Is it all over for Bradford if they lose on Sunday?
If they lose, I think it is. Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really matter how many points they get back, if they get any back in their appeal.
Because they will be 10 points behind them.
Yeah, I think that's too far for them to come back. If they win on Sunday, then they've got a bit of a ghost of a chance of avoiding relegation. And Wakefield, in the last few weeks, have looked a fairly dispirited side. They're just lacking something, aren't they? They had a great run a few weeks ago, but then they went into the Magic Weekend thinking they could beat Castleford and got well and truly walloped, and they've sort of slumped again now. Bradford, though, have just had a poor season all round, but they've got a lot of players coming back into the side. I've got a strange feeling that Francis Cummins may have been resting players or not bringing them back too early in order to play against Wakefield.
And they've got Salford after that as well, which is potentially another match.
This is obviously a game they've identified that they can win. So you're going to see him wheeling out his big guns, and that may just be enough. Of course, it's being played at Bradford. Very interesting to see the size of the crowd, of course, because the reorganisation of Super League that the RFL has introduced has very much gone on this idea that jeopardy brings out fans. So let's hope there's a big crowd there on Sunday. It'd be great to see 8,000 to 10,000 there, wouldn't it? To really, justify this move to have two relegated clubs this year. I have a funny feeling that this could be a Bradford win. But again, it's a game I'd love to see, and it's one that I'm not overly confident about my predictions, if I'm honest there. And so, looking forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully big crowds at Bradford and all 6 other Super League games this weekend. Thanks for joining us on TotalRL TV. We'll be back next week with another Super League preview.
And don't forget that you can read about everything, all these games, in League Express on Monday.